Good evening, everyone. Hope you're okay. Welcome to the Larking Gowen Careers Open Evening for 2021. We will be running a face-to-face careers evening in due course. So if there's any questions that don't get answered this evening, or you'd like to obviously see the team face-to-face, then further details of that will be launched shortly. What is tonight all about? So my name is John Atkins. I'm a partner within the firm. I joined Larking Gowen in August 2016 and I was made a partner on the 1st of April 2020, so 8 days into the pandemic. So one of my key responsibilities outside of any client work that I oversee is I'm the firm's training partner and QPRT, so I'm responsible for all professional study for our trainees across all of our offices, which we'll come on to in due course, and myself and then a number of my colleagues, whether that be the student coordinators, HR or the training managers within each of our departments, help oversee the professional study for all of our students. So with regards to the firm, as I said earlier, there's a number of divisions within the firm. So I'm a partner within our audit division, to which our audit team is based in Ipswich and Norwich. We've then got a number of other divisions within the firm who specialise in the various different areas of accountancy. So we've got our medical team, our farming, land and estates team. We've got our business and private team, to name a few, but I'm sure you'll get to meet a number of people from the different divisions later on in the webinar. With regards to the firm, as I said, I'm the QPRT and oversee professional study for all of our trainees. We currently have over 100 trainees across the various different qualifications within the accountancy industry. And as I said, all of our students are then based in different divisions and different offices across East Anglia, but they all get overseen by myself and my professional study team. With regards to the study, obviously, as it notes on the slide, the majority of our students who join us, obviously in our September intake, so which we'll be looking at September 22, we offer fully supported study packages, a pay rise each time you pass an exam, and a further boost on qualification. In addition to obviously your salary, we've got the pension contributions that the firm make on your behalf. We've also got the Medicash benefit, which you've got details of on screen there. We've also then got our award-winning wellbeing programme to obviously assist with this key matter, which is vitally important in the work-life balance for students and all people within the firm. So obviously I've mentioned a little bit about the firm and obviously the sector that we work in accountancy. So what do accountants really do? So as an accountant, we are one of the main players in any business, whether it's a large corporation. As I said, where I'm an audit partner, we deal with the medium to larger size businesses. So that could be turnover from 10 million up to 200 million in a number of different industries, whether that be aviation, agriculture, retail or wholesale. Or we've then got our smaller businesses who are traditionally looked after by our business and private team, where you've got the sole traders, partnerships and small limited companies and so forth. One of the key things obviously which we do, which has been incredibly important during the COVID pandemic, is monitoring and the recording of money, and cash flow for most of our clients. In addition, we're also there to verify the accuracy of financial statements which are prepared by our clients, ensuring they comply with the relative accounting standards. So what else do we do? Obviously, in addition to helping our clients prepare their financial statements, we also look after their tax compliance, to which there's obviously a number of different tax disciplines within the business world. We also then assist with any advisory matters. So I've mentioned obviously planning with regards to whether that be cash flow, inheritance planning matters, or group reorganisations and so forth. So we don't just purely look at financial statements, we're there to help our clients achieve their objectives, and obviously in addition to the compliance piece, make sure that they've got any advisory work that they need as well. So what do we love working in practice? So for myself, obviously, as I said, I'm an audit partner within our corporate division. So what I love most about working at Larking Gowen is the clients that I work with. They're big enough in size that they've got complex and technical matters to make sure that we find that element of the work challenging, but they're also on the whole owner managed business, so we get to meet with the actual owners of the business on a day-to-day basis and ensure that we help them through not just their business affairs, but obviously we do get involved with any personal affairs as well. As part of our role, as I said, we assist with their business strategy and providing support there. We've also worked closely with key influencers and business decision makers. And one thing that we're talking to a lot of our clients about at the moment is sustainability, which is obviously quite high up on everyone's agenda. So how we can obviously help our clients lower their carbon footprint is something that I've been discussing with a number of people recently. So it's not just about the numbers, it's about their business and everything that goes with that.
So as John mentioned previously, there are 2 ways to join Larking Gowen. After your A-levels, so you would come in straight after sixth form and study for your AAT in just under 2 years. This is an apprenticeship as well, so there is apprenticeship stuff to do alongside the qualification. This is normally 2 years. It's fully paid study, so you're given time off work to go and do all your college days and supported throughout your exams. This can then lead you on to the ACA qualification, which is overseen by the ICAW. That's the Institute of Chartered Accountants. You can come into this either by doing AAT or a degree. For any AAT students, you will probably come in a year earlier than graduates because a degree tends to take 3 years compared to the AAT, which is 2. This is also an apprenticeship. It's a 3-year training contract where, again, the firm will support you through your exams, which I think the maximum is 15, depending on exemptions from the AAT or depending on what degree you've taken. And during this time, you will obviously be gaining experience, receiving a salary, and having all your tuition fees and study time paid for. And as you can see at the bottom, all you need to become an AAT student is 2 C grades at A-levels, and for the degree, it is a 2-1. So each year we provide various training opportunities across our various offices. These are both AAT and ACA and depend obviously on the applications we get and how many opportunities we have across the firm. The application window is open currently until January 2022, and this is to start in September. The shortlisted candidates are invited to one of our assessment days, which includes an interview and a group activity and a presentation. You also get to meet the partners, current students working here, so hopefully it's not too scary when you turn up. And then any successful candidates from the assessment day are then invited to commence work. Normally it is in the September, but there are opportunities to start earlier if you want. And all the applications are online at our website.
Probably just one thing I just wanted to cover before, obviously I'll pass over to some more of our people within the firm, is I suppose with regards to the professional study offering. Obviously, as I'm sure you've all experienced over the last 19 months, professional study or learning in general has been significantly impacted by the COVID pandemic. All of our students, whether they study ACA, ACCA, AAT, or any of the AATT or CTA tax exams, all of our students are then sent to one of our training providers. So currently for AAT and ACA, all of our students go to First Intuition, to which for classroom-based learning. So as Arabella said previously, the time we provide you to attend obviously the tuition and revision phases for all of your professional exams, that's paid for by the firm to then attend a classroom-based learning at the First Intuition centres, to which they are currently in Chelmsford, Ipswich, Norwich and Cambridge. In addition to obviously having the time off to attend those, to attend the study, any expenses incurred to travel to the classroom-based learning is also paid for by the firm. In addition to that time off to attend the tuition and revision phases, something that we provide at Larking Gowen as well is prior to any professional or advanced level exams, we provide you with the 2 working days off directly in front of your exam as time off, as paid leave, in addition to help you study for those exams at that point in time. With regards to the professional study as well, as I mentioned at the outset, we've got a number of student coordinators who assist me as QPRT in supporting our students, to which Arabella and Alana are some of our student coordinators for the various disciplines. In addition, you get allocated a training manager who will liaise directly with the training provider on your behalf, where they're agreeing exam dates, the order in which you complete your exams, and time off and so forth. In addition to that, we would normally allocate you a buddy, who is normally someone about a year in advance of yourself study-wise. So they're there to assist you with any day-to-day questions that you may have. As I said, you've got the student coordinators who are there to assist you with any queries that you may have on any matters really, or support if you're unfortunate in any of your exam attempts. And then finally, in addition to that, you get we have a mentoring system where you can, which is completely voluntary, and you can obviously appoint a mentor to help you go through any objectives and go through any queries that you may have with regards to professional study and obviously your time at work as well. So what I'll do now is I will hand over to Alana to obviously introduce herself and then give a little bit of a flavour of what she's done in her experience at Larking Gowen to date.
Thank you, John. So I am Alana. I am studying my ACA at Larking Gowen. I did come in from A levels. So I completed my level 3 AAT and then went on to do my level 4 AAT and then started ACA. So I've been here just over 4 years now. I started in August 2017. I work in the Ipswich office. I work in the business and private department, which works on non-audit clients. So it will range from smaller businesses that are not required to have an audit or who don't opt in for an audit, to individuals who want their tax return completing. I quite like working in the business and private department because you're not working on one company, you're not doing one company's accounts constantly. You're seeing a range of different businesses. So one day I might be doing a local grocery shop, for example, and then the next week I'll be doing a car manufacturer. It's a complete range of things. Every day is different. You get different challenges that you're faced with, but it's really exciting. Study-wise, I like Larking Gowen because as you saw on the other slide, there are so many trainees that start with Larking Gowen, so you have that support system. I have 3 monthly reviews with my progress manager, and there's always someone to go to. So whether it's them, whether it's other employees of Larking Gowen who are doing their studies, you've always got that support system. Working in a medium-sized firm does give you that support.
I'm Jamie. I, like Alana, work in our business private division in Ipswich, and that's along the same lines. So working with small businesses, personal clients. I joined a year earlier than Alana in August 2016. So I've been at the firm just over 5 years now, which seems a world away. And I have just finished my last exam of the ACA, just passed in July 2021. So I joined, like Alana, straight from school, applied, I believe, around this time, maybe in November, my second year of sixth form, had the assessment day, which I think Arabella covered earlier, in February, and started in August. So then I started the AAT, went through level 3 and 4 on the apprenticeship, and then started ACA around the summer of 2019, so around a couple of years on AAT and a couple of years on ACA. What I kind of enjoy, like Alana, about working in business and private, again, is just the idea of being able to help clients to run their businesses in the best form for them, being able to take a bit of the financial burden off of them in respect of deadlines and pressures, and be able to offer them advice. And the variety of clients also helps us a lot. Like Alana alluded to, one day we'd be working on a large limited company that's just below the audit threshold, and another we could be working on someone who just needs a bit of help completing their personal tax return. So there's a lot of variability on day to day, and never any chance of being bored. So that's kind of what I enjoy about working in business and private. And then about LG as a whole, so Larking Gowen, the study support network is really, really good. There is always someone who has been in the same position that you're going to be in. We normally take on a few people in each department every year, so there's always someone the year above who you can ask for questions, who has been in the same scenario that you've been in, so that's really, really helpful. And the people as a whole, everyone's always very willing to help. If when you're starting, you might have a fair few questions, and that's perfectly normal. And everyone is always very helpful, particularly what we've had during the pandemic. It's been very good to be able to get to know a few people in different offices, and everyone's always been very willing to help. So that's kind of what I enjoy about LG the most.
I'm Scott. I've just started to study ACA at Larkin. I joined here just over 2 years ago now, and I joined the Fakenham office, also in business and private. I came straight out doing my A-levels in college because I decided that the apprenticeship route was more suited to me instead of going to uni. And then in the 2 years I've been here, I've managed to become AAT qualified. So I've gone through my AAT studies already in just the 2 years, because I did the level 3 and level 4 combined. And that has now led on to me going on to study ACA, which should also take me another 2 years, I believe. I was sort of in the same boat as 60% of you, I guess, if you're all going to study AAT, sort of come to these training or these careers evenings and then going through the application process. And luckily I was successful. And I was sort of a bit nervous about starting, because coming out of college, I didn't really have any experience as to what sort of accountancy involved. And I thought, well, am I going to be all right with this? But as soon as I joined, everyone at Larkin was really welcoming. As Jamie and Alana have said, that there's always someone here to help you, and someone else who's studying or has completed the studies that you've already done. So there's always someone to help you, support you to work through where you are and get to where they are. And then eventually you'll be able to pass on your knowledge and skills that you're learning onto other new starters that are starting, which is sort of where I'm at now. Also, I think one thing I've noticed about since I'm working at Larkin is, so 6 months in, it was when the pandemic started. I was like 6 months after I joined the firm, and I thought, oh, this is not going to be good. I haven't been here long. I'm now going home to work like on my own with no one around me. How am I going to cope with this? But that just sort of proved again how good everyone at Larking is, to sort of help everyone out, because now we've got the things like Microsoft Teams and just like general apps like that have sort of made everyone be able to like communicate even easier. And yeah, everyone's just sort of helped me get to here now, and I'm sure it'll be the same for you guys when you get here. And also I think that the sort of whole thing about working from home now has, and the idea of flexibility is sort of also a really good thing about Larkin. I think like there's a general sort of way we go about it, like we do our 37.5 hours a week, Monday to Friday. But now, as you sort of progress, there is also like we have the option of working from home now, because that's what we were forced to do for so long. It's now become a thing where like it is possible, and like there is like a lot of flexibility around that at Larkin. So yeah, it is really good. But yeah, like as Jamie and Alana said as well about the study, like there's we have our tuition providers who are great. They're here to help you support your studies, just like everyone else within the firm. And it's just been really good, really, I think, and it will continue as you sort of progress to further studies as well. So
my name's Ben. I work in the medical team, and I'm based in the Norwich office between working from home as well. So what we specialise in is medical practices, dental practices, as well as like GP consultants. So the work we do is a little bit more specialised, but then that comes with certain complexities with it as well. That allows it to keep the work sort of interesting and engaging, as it's just a bit more technical sometimes. So I've been with the firm just a little over 3 years. I joined after leaving college in August 2018. So I started as a AAT trainee. So I'd done the course similar to Scott in 2 years because it was a combined level 3 and level 4 course. So I've now finished that, and I'm now moved on to the ACA qualification, where I'm now studying there. It's worked really well. So you stay with the same training provider the whole way through, so you get to build a relationship with them. They're always there to support you, along with other colleagues in your office and other teams as well. It always seems like as you start in a sort of a cohort all together, you can build good relationships with other trainees in your sort of year. So you've always got support from those people as well as people within your own team. Outside of study, the social is great at LG as well. Lots of events are always run sort of outside of work hours, such as drinking, going to the pub, as well as sort of whole company events as well. So as a perk of being in Norwich, obviously you have the amenities around you to take advantage of, but similar to how Scott mentioned, we also now work from home parts of the time as well, so it gives greater flexibility, sort of fit in around you as well.
So as mentioned, I'm Arabella. I work in the Farms and Land Estates team in our Norwich office. I have been with Larking Gowen just over 5 years. I started straight out of A-levels, as did everyone else apparently, and studied my AAT in 2 years and finished my ACA qualification. I passed my final exam last December during COVID, so managed to get that out of the way with all the online learning. Within the Farms and Land Estates team, I deal with sole traders, partnerships and companies of varying sizes, all based on agriculture, dealing with their personal tax returns, their accounts and their company tax returns. So there's a lot of variety. I enjoy the people at the firm. I've recently become an ACA student coordinator, so I'm involved in helping the other students at the firm, which it sort of shows how the firm help you progress. 5 years ago, I started as an AAT, and I'm now supporting other ACA students through their qualifications, helping them complete their training files, and it just shows that the firm sort of they progress you and they keep you going. I know everybody's spoken about study, so I won't go over that again, and maybe a little bit post-study. So since I have finished my exams, I'm now being encouraged sort of to look after clients myself, take on more responsibility. So once you're finished studying, there's a constant progression, and the firm are really keen on really keen on helping me move forward and meet my goals post-study, which is probably the best thing about Larking Gowen. They're very keen on helping you get where you want to. And obviously it starts with AAT, it starts with ACA. So that's obviously, hopefully we'll have some people apply for that tonight. And yeah, we have a fantastic team here. I work in the Farms and Land Estates team, but I prepare accounts for audit. So I will deal with members of the audit team. If I have specialist tax questions, I deal with members of the personal tax team and also our corporate tax team. My clients will also deal with trusts. So luckily, as part of our personal tax team, we have a trust team. And everybody is very approachable, and it helps you with your learning inside of work, but also with your studies, dealing with other departments and finding out what they do and how they work. So yeah, it's a very nice atmosphere to be around, and obviously the support with the study does help a lot, and also the progress afterwards. I think that's enough from me.
Thanks, Arabella. I think that is the end of the formal presentation so far. Then we'll just go through these. So one of the questions is with regards to obviously working from home as a result of the pandemic. So obviously, as a firm, we have reviewed this in light of the pandemic, and we announced our new working practices framework back in August of this year. So with regards to the framework, we do not prescribe a set number of days in the office. What we encourage all of our people to do is look at what they're doing. So what do their clients expect of them? Do they need to be, where do they need to be to help support their colleagues, whether that be socially or obviously training and development is incredibly important, and obviously as we all learn via osmosis. And then also trust and common sense. So I think you have to look at what your clients expect of you. Do you need to be in for your team? And then what is the type of work that you're doing to determine whether you work in the office or whether you work at home. And obviously you can tell through the backgrounds here that a few of us are in the office today and a few of us are working at home. So a real hybrid and flexible working approach. So looking at the other questions, I don't know obviously anyone else on the call from LG whether they want to go through these to save me answering them all. So one of the questions is, what happens if I fail an exam?
I'm happy to take that one, John.
Yeah.
So we have different steps when somebody fails an exam. Obviously, first and foremost, there's a support and finding out maybe why someone failed an exam. Obviously, you know, with the last year and people have been studying from home, that may have been a reason. So we would talk to obviously the student and the training provider. The training, you'll have various progress tests and mocks with the training provider. So we'll make sure that they've all been done and carried out. The first resits are paid for again, and the training courses, depending on whether we can see that there's been proof that work has been put in, because you can tell from the results and modules that have been done. But yeah, it's very supportive when their exam fails. They're professional exams, so we know that not everybody is going to get through the exams first time. So there are steps that we go through and hopefully get everyone there in the end.
Thanks, Arabella. Next question is, how do I apply? Who would like to take that one?
I'm happy to take this one. So you can go on to our website, so larking-gowen.co.uk, and go on to current vacancies, and then you can view all of the vacancies that we have. In this application, you can put your preferred office. It's not guaranteed, but it does help if you put which office you would prefer to work in. Also, I'm sure all of us are happy for you to contact us if you have any further questions or if you want any more information about the applications.
Thank you. So another question is, are there separate teams specialised in a specific area of tax, for example, corporate tax, VAT? Who would like to answer that one?
I can take that one. So there are a number of different teams. Some teams do take varying amounts of work. So for example, in business and private, we'll do low levels, for example, of a corporation tax return. However, once they get above a certain difficulty or complexity, we then have our tax advisory group. So they assist in complex tax returns and obviously deal with their own clients as well. There are other teams for VAT, CIS, tax or POE and payroll. So if we ever have any specific queries, we can always refer work or queries to those individual teams, as well as they can give us advice on how to advise clients best on them.
Thanks, Jamie. So next one, if you train in a certain field and find it's not for you, can you change? I suppose there's two different answers I can give to that one. So yes, you could change if, for instance, audit wasn't for you, which obviously audit is brilliant as I'm an audit partner. One thing we're also looking at the moment is then internal secondment. So we do have a number of people who do second from various different departments on whether it's a 3-month basis to obviously further develop their skills. And obviously, I think a couple of people have gone into Arabella's team in FLE before from my team, excuse me. But we are looking at a wider secondment programme currently at partner level. So next few questions are, what is the accounting software package used for client work?
So for the majority of the work I do in the BMP team, for accounting sort of production, we use like a software called Caseware, and that's sort of our file to sort of build the accounts, and our sort of general most used bit of software. But then now, I'm sure some of you will be aware that there are sort of software such as QuickBooks and Xero. There's also other software called like Sage, where our clients can sort of use like cloud accounting to keep their records, and then we can use them to produce the accounts instead of lots of like manual physical bits of paper and records like that. And that's becoming sort of ever more important with issues like making tax digital. So yeah, we use a lot of those kind of software. And then when it comes to tax, we use a software mainly sort of such as Alpha Tax, CCH, depending on whether it's like sole trade or company. But yeah, as I say, the cloud accounting is becoming more and more popular, and that's sort of we're sort of moving towards using more of them than sort of physical records now. So they're what we use.
I'll just add on to what Scott said as well. We do not expect you to have any experience in them softwares. I didn't know what QuickBooks or Xero or Caseware was before I started, and I've done various training courses. So I wouldn't worry if you don't have experience on them. If you do, great, but if you don't, I wouldn't stress. You'll start to learn them and use them every day.
Thank you very much. The next question is, I've already started my AAT level 4. Could I still join your company if I wanted to study the ACCA? So obviously throughout this webinar we've referred to AAT and then ACA. The main reason we refer to ACA is because Larking Gowen is a ICAW regulated firm, so as such we would expect most of our students to go down the ACA approach. That doesn't mean that everyone has to go down that approach. We look at it on an individual basis. So if you wanted to, once finishing your AAT, if you wanted to study ACCA, then we would review it on a case-by-case and business case. So if you did want to study ACCA, then that's not an issue. Obviously, the other two, as I mentioned, ATT and CTA, they're obviously very tax-driven, to which we do offer placements for those two professional study methods as well. Righty-ho, just looking at the next question. What will my working hours be? I think, Ben, did you touch on that earlier? Obviously the total number of hours, but obviously I didn't know whether you wanted to expand on that.
I'm happy to, I don't think I touched on it, but I'm happy to discuss it. Yeah. So our standard working hours are 37.5 hours a week. They're flexible. We have core working hours, and I think they're 10 till 4 at the moment. So you're expected to be working over those hours, but it's flexible about what time you finish and what time you start, as long as you're obviously getting your hours done and they fit the needs of the team and your clients. But yes, yeah, so it's Monday to Friday, 7.5 hour days each day.
Thanks, Ben. Do we offer work experience or internships?
I'm happy to take this one. So I actually did work experience at Larking Gowen, so we definitely do offer work experience. It is a great way to see if this is a career you want to do. The teams are really good at bringing anyone who comes in on work experience and showing them fully what goes on straight away. There's no making cups of tea. You're shown exactly what we do day to day and get involved. So we definitely do offer work experience. That tends to be 1 to 2 weeks. We also offer 6 to 8 week internships. which I think the firm are looking at restarting off the back of COVID. So if you are interested, please do get in contact. And we also offer university placement schemes. So if you've got a year in industry as part of your course, we accept students on that as well. But the best email to contact for work experience or internships or university placement is recruitment@larkinggowen.co.uk. This website can be found on our website, and they would hopefully get back to you and help you get a placement. But like I said, it's a fantastic way of checking if you're not sure on the career, if it's what you want to do or not, because it made me want to come and do AAT and join the firm. So yeah, I definitely recommend it.
Thank you very much. So next question, based on which criteria are the trainees allocated to the various different teams? Who would like to go for that?
I can take that if you like. So I think it's kind of based partially on your own personal preference. In my kind of circumstance, I was lucky enough that myself and another now colleague who started from the same school as me both ended up getting a job in the Ipswich office, starting AAT, and we were both asked in our interviews as part of the apprenticeship day what kind of work we were interested in, and it so happened that he was more interested in the audit side and I was more interested in the small business side, so that kind of worked out how eventually we got our job offers. So it can vary on your own personal preference. If you're really interested in audit and want to drive towards that, you can obviously ask to be specifically put into that department, and the same the other way around. So it's just about having that discussion. I'm sure the interviewers, when you have the assessment day, will kind of try to gauge that and offer the role that's best for you.
I would like just to add on to that. Also, if you have any, like you said, specific interests. So I came from an agricultural background, hence why I'm in the Farms and Land Estates team. It's not required. There's a lot of people in my team who haven't got a clue about farming, but enjoy doing agricultural accounts. The same with medical. I know some people have maybe family that are doctors, and other people have no history of it at all. It's also based on which teams require sort of trainees at that point in time. So preference will try to be met, but obviously if there's only one role in a certain team and 5 people want to go in that team, it will obviously depend on who we find is the best candidate for that kind of work.
Thanks, Arabella. So what is the traditional length of period for an ACA training agreement? I can answer this.
I'm happy to take that one if you want.
Go for it, Arabella, as you're obviously one of the coordinators.
So your ACA training contract is 3 years. You can complete your exams earlier in this time. So I completed my exams within 2 years. I'm now just seeing out the last month of my training contract, but I think how the exams are structured now, you will finish your exams within 2.5 years of your training contract. The training contract is there really to make sure you have your work experience, which is required by the Institute of Chartered Accountants, to make sure you have enough days and experience, and within 3 years they believe that is the right time frame. So yeah, your training contract will be 3 years.
Yeah, as Arabella mentions, you need to do 450 practical work experience days in addition to the completing all of the professional exams, complete an ethics module, and then demonstrate a number of key competencies, and then they are the 4 main elements of the training agreement and the ICAW that you need to get signed off. And then the final question I've got at the moment, unless anyone else has got any additional questions to ask. So if I apply now, when can I start? So obviously, as we said at the outset, this is the careers event this evening is mainly for our September 22 intake. We do expect that there may be a few additional vacancies for starters in January 2022. So obviously, depending on your personal circumstances, then there may be the opportunity to join in January this year, but predominantly we'll be looking at September 22. I think that's all the questions. Is there anything any of my fellow colleagues would like to add at all before we wrap up the webinar?
all I want to say is if there are any queries that we may have missed in our list of queries, there are the recruitment email on our website, and any member of our HR team will pick that up and we'll be more than happy to respond to anything you've got.
Thank you. There's one more question which has popped in, which is, will you close applications early if you have enough candidates? As we said, at the moment, the application process is student candidates would apply and then they'd be invited to an assessment day. So obviously we won't close the application process until just before those assessment days. So depending on the number of applicants that we have, will then obviously determine the number of assessment days that we need to run. Brilliant. Well, obviously, thank you very much to all of my colleagues for taking their time out this evening to join the webinar with myself. As Arabella said, if you do have any questions after this, then please do not hesitate to get in contact with us, and we will be running a few other face-to-face careers evenings in due course. So if you do want to come down to either one of our Norwich or Ipswich offices to ask any further questions or meet the team in person, then details of those will be circulated shortly. Thank you very much.